Hi, I'm John Norris with an MTV News Brief. The music community is expressing its outrage at the murder of University of Wyoming student Matthew Shepard. Shepard died on Monday after being brutally attacked and tied to a fence by two men who allegedly beat him because he was gay. Said Michael Stipe of REM, in day-to-day life, homophobia still exists. Matthew Shepard's funeral will take place on Friday afternoon at St. Mark's Episcopal Church in Casper, Wyoming.
Pretty much you can go from Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Arizona is what we call the suicide belt. That's the highest concentration of suicides in the nation. We've had 3 teenagers commit suicide in the last 2 months. It's really scary. There's always speculation. Some of these teen suicides are people that are still in the closet and just can't deal with it anymore because we teach our kids to cowboy up. The message is don't talk about it, suck it up.
We live in Wyoming, you're supposed to buckle up and be a man or whatever, you know.
It was personally really hard for me because I was the first kid who came out in my middle school, and I was kind of like bullied, and a little bit in high school I was as well.
I actually lost one of my good friends up in July because he committed suicide because of it, for him being gay and everything, you know. Here in Casper, it is a lot better. Like, people don't care, like, they don't judge you or whatever.
I had moved here for a new beginning, and as soon as I did that, I got myself into a PFLAG group here at the UCC church. Since high school, I was involved trying to get like an LGBT group started in the high school. So I've been trying to go in this in a few years, and I think it just needed the right people to come together to make something like this happen.
So this weekend came together between Casper PFLAG and out in Wyoming. We decided that we want to make Pride a huge thing in Casper. We need to make every year bigger.
All right, well, we need like 15 more.
We need like 15 more red balloons.
Nope.
We always hear about bigger prides in bigger cities. We've been over into Portland and places like that, and they're huge. And it's kind of nice to finally have something a little bit bigger, so you're like, okay, even though we're in the middle of nowhere, we're in the middle of Wyoming. We've got way more people than we think there are.
When I first found out that we actually had a Pride here in Casper, it was this like joy, because I've always grown up in this town like, oh, you gotta hide who you are kind of thing, because even though it's not a small town, it's small enough to where it's not super accepted.
It's amazing because we don't really have that sense of community since, well, nobody knows where anybody is. I mean, there's some Pride clubs at high school, but what do you do when you get to adulthood? There isn't anything. It's just amazing to see everybody here, out, loud, proud. It's awesome.
It's not just like our generation, it's all the generations.
Yeah.
We are gay and straight together, and we are singing for our love.
For the first time march, it was beautiful.
I was super excited. We both were.
Yeah, she was hopping on the bed, just, hey, I want to go. I'm like, we're going, babe, calm down, you know. It was really amazing.
In a community like this, I was expecting angry honks. I wasn't expecting people waving and cheering us on.
The changes that have been made since Matt died are just amazing. He would just be thrilled to death to see this. He'd been at the front of the parade.
I mean, I think it's probably one of the most joyful, incredible, just amazing feelings that I think I've ever felt as far as being out in Casper, Wyoming.
Events like this is to show that you do have support somewhere. It may not be in your home, it may not be in your community, but somewhere you have another family.
So after Pride weekend, we're gonna start working on here in Casper a non-discrimination act, so nobody can be fired or discriminated against at their place of employment or housing or anywhere.
The old farts that are over in the legislation can't live forever, right? So we got a new generation of leaders. We will turn those corners. The younger folks are the new generation of Stonewall saying, hell no, we got something to say about that. It's just this movement towards mainstreaming of the LGBTQ community. I mean, maybe that sounds like an odd word, but I don't want to have a gay church. I want to have a church where it doesn't matter if you are or not. I will continue to do funerals, but I'd rather do parties.
The biggest thing that we need here is a foundation of young, expressive people who know what direction they can take our beautiful Casper in and put a stamp on it. Put a stamp of equality on it, and know that you can come to this town in one of our downtown shops and you are going to be welcomed by like a smiling young face. So I am waiting for Casper to taste its rainbow. It's a little past due.